All right, welcome back to the best NFT show in the world. We're coming live from the Gutter Cat Autonomous Zone, and more specifically, the Gutter Cat Club, man. We're hanging out. I've got Ronan, I've got Ladz in the background, I've got Llama in the background, of course. Ladz might be a little too young, but what's going on with you today, Ronan? How are you doing the NFTs this week?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Had a great weekend. Obviously, Friday night we got to celebrate, the Bored Ape Kennel Club release. That was a lot of fun for the Kennel Club show. We had a lot of good times, a lot of laughs. I think that anybody who was involved in that had a good weekend, man. So, how about you? How was your weekend? How was your weekend in NFTs? Did you jump into any of like the 4,222 profile picture projects?
I will take no generative art FUD today, okay? No, I tried to get in bulls on the blockchain like everybody else, but, my gas just wasn't high enough. I didn't load up the car beforehand, and, it just happened. I didn't get any bulls. I didn't want to pick up any bulls from the secondary market and get dumped on there, but it seems that most of the secondary sales are doing super well still on these generative art sales, and we'll definitely cover them today. We are at the Gutter Cat Gang Club. We are about to have ourselves a good time here for a little bit, but yeah, man, I'm super excited for this episode. If you want to kind of give a little bit of a shout out to the chat while I get the episode preview ready, we can definitely start to make our way here.
Absolutely. Shout out to everybody who showed up nice and early to hang out. Easy and Crypto, Shroomba, Shaggy, what's going on? Thomas, Choina, how you doing? Crypto, Stamina, Shaggy Downs, Young Content, good to see you, brother. Asmodi, BT, and I think that covers just about everybody who said hello. We appreciate you guys being here. And nice and early, we've got a great show coming for you guys. We've got a lot of really cool content, a lot of news to cover. We've got a great guest. We've also got somebody hanging out with us today. I think that's Buffalo.
Yo, what's up, you guys? Guess what? I'm full-time, baby. I quit my job. I'm living in Ladz City, working in Ladz City, 24/7, 365, breathing, eating, sleeping Ladz City. Can you feel it? I'm a little excited. You guys are a little amped. And I want to show you a little video here. This is what happened when I decided to quit my job and go all in on Twitter or crypto. And here's a celebration. These are all the lads. We came together, man. They were just congratulating me. Everybody was so damn happy. Now, lads, we're such infants in this space, you guys, but we really honor each other, and we really love the vibe of this tribe. And just, I'm so proud of each and every one of you. There's Ronan, there's Q. I mean, God, we're really looking sharp right here. You guys haven't aged today.
That pamper looks full.
Yeah. They say we're all full of shit. There you go. I'm just so proud of us, and I am just so excited to be going full-time in crypto. I just can't help it, you guys. I'm excited, and woke up this morning just going, this is the right move. This is definitely the right move. This space is just amazing. And Ronan, my man, you've been full-time for a couple months now, so you definitely know this vibe, right?
Dude, it feels good, man. It's congratulations, number one. Number two, I appreciate all the hugs from earlier while celebrating. Right. But yeah, man, it feels really good. And it's nice to as we talked about here, right? Like it's kind of been a goal of the teams for a while now to be able to do this thing full time. So to be able to see somebody else on the team to jump in, man, this is exciting. I don't think that, that could be downplayed. And I think that now everybody's full time, everybody's in the space, and everybody gets to kind of enjoy the rest of what is popping right now, right? Like to be at the forefront of this technology is, I don't know about you guys, man, but it makes me excited to wake up every single day.
Dude, that's how I felt this morning. I jumped out of bed. There is no way I'm snoozing, and I'm not snoozing on these lads or this space. Life is way too short, and I'm way too tall to be missing this ride, you guys. Love you both. Let's have a great show, and yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here.
Last question, Buff. Last question for Buff there. Why was he? Why are you in that part of the city and not at the Gutter Cat Gang Club with us?
I took a right or a left on Easy Street, and there was construction over at NFT Arcade, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm hanging out over here with Nightbot. He told me to go left, man. Never listen to that guy. But yeah, I'm on my way, man. Save me a seat.
We got you. Don't worry.
All right, man. So this is what's going to happen. We are going to cover the entire NFT space. This is NFT Live. We're basically going around the metaverse. We're taking you into the latest stories, and we're breaking down awesome projects, of which we have one here today. And we're going to get an interview with Carlo Moretti from Hexarchia. They are doing a strategy NFT game that has to do with medieval battles. It's based on chess, and they definitely are utilizing some good graphics there with the Unreal Engine. So that's going to be an awesome project to cover. We're going to hit that first. And then we've got all of the news from around the NFT space. We got Fewocious, we got Bulls on the Block. There was a lot of controversy there. We're going to cover some Bored Ape Yacht Club. We've got ZedRun, Marvels, KOGS, a lot of stuff to be hitting today. So we are going to get to the interview here. But before we roll the clip, before we get this roll on, do we have anything else for the Gutter Cat gang, Ronan, as we're leaving the club? I didn't see anybody show up while we were here, so it's a little dead in the house.
No, it's okay. I'm just gonna kind of walk through, right? And I'm gonna tap everybody on the shoulders, and I'm gonna remind everybody to hit the thumbs up. Okay, if you like the content, we really appreciate that. It helps a ton. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. That way, you get alerted every week when we go live. Eventually, after we, get our stuff together, and then yeah, man, and make sure you're sharing it, and you're sharing on Twitter, and you're letting people know about Ladz and Ladz City. If you're new here, make sure you go to ladz.city. That will actually take you to a webpage where you can find our Discord and some information about what we do here on the network, as well as the greater community of Ladz. So super excited to have everybody here, super excited for the content that we have, and really extremely excited to meet our guest.
Let's roll it. All right, I'm absolutely hyped out of my mind after that video. I have Carlo Moretti sitting here, and he's going to do a great job breaking down Hexarchia, his really awesome war and strategy NFT game that we're going to talk about for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So, Carlo, how are you doing today? I heard you went on a walk today for a little while.
Oh yeah. Good evening, everybody. Here in Italy, it's evening actually. So I'm very happy to be with you guys. You're doing an amazing job. It's really from the whole team of Hexarchia, we're really proud to be with you, and we really want to share what we are building, and we hope that the interview will go great.
Absolutely, man. Can you break down your little mini story before we get into Hexarchia? Just what happened today? We have a lot of crypto and NFT folks. Just break it down in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, today is really the day that I realized that everything that has happened in my life for the past 4 to 5 years really makes sense. I mean, we have a bank account with one of the leading Italian banks. Don't want to mention it. I don't want to do any marketing for them. And basically, I lost 4 to 5 hours of my day quarreling with them because they couldn't help me to do a bank transfer to France. And basically, they're closed from 5:30 till the day after. And I think this is completely crazy. I mean, do you think that companies shut down after 5:30? I mean, there isn't really so. I mean, we need crypto. We need crypto more than ever, and we really we need to make it, guys. So let's bring it mainstream.
Absolutely. We appreciate you sharing that story, because I think that a lot of people, especially who are here and hanging out with us today, can understand and have had something similar happen that pushed them closer and closer to crypto. So we appreciate that, man. So tell us a little bit about the project. Tell us a little bit about kind of at the surface level, what exactly is Hexarchia, and what can we look forward to as far as the NFT experience?
Sure. I mean, Hexarchia is a war and strategy NFT video game inspired by chess. It's a simultaneous moves, kind of real-time turn-based game. So basically, the players, they decide the moves all together in advance, and then the moves, they are played together. It's played on a chessboard. That's why we are inspired by chess. It's an hexagonal chessboard, something I bet you've seen quite rarely in your life. There are several modes of the game. There is the 1-against-1 and the 3 free-for-all, which is what we are launching at the alpha stage of the video game. Right now, we are at the pre-alpha stage, so the game is not live yet. And then there will be other modes up till 6 players free-for-all, and also team mode, so 2 against 2, 3 against 3, and so there is a world who's acting pretty much like the king in chess. Each player has a world. If you defeat your opponent world, then the opponent exits the game. Unfortunately, is defeated. If your world though is defeated, then you lose the game. And the world is together with an army of warriors. Can be the Roman or the Japanese, as you are seeing now. Can be the Japanese samurais. Can be the Roman centurions. There are several civilizations. The first 3 are Egypt, ancient Egypt. You can see the map right here. And there is ancient Rome and ancient Egypt. As you can guess, more are coming in the future. This is just the beginning. And we are building it on Unreal Engine, the most advanced game engine on the planet, the same adopted to develop Fortnite and Star Wars The Mandalorian. Our goal is to bring quality to the blockchain gaming sector. We believe that there is a huge gap between traditional video games and blockchain video games at the moment, although in 2020 and 2021, to be honest, we've seen some improvement when comparing to 2017, 2018, and 2019. But there is still a lot to be done, and we are here to bridge the gap. And so our main goal is really to deliver an engaging gaming experience, something gripping, something addictive that the players like. We want them to have fun, and Hexarchia is here to do that.
Yeah, the graphics we're looking at are amazing, Carlo. Like, I don't know how deep you are into NFTs right now, but everyone's FOMOing in over 2D art essentially, where anything with an Unreal Engine is going to be so far out of the realm of what we're used to. Are all the graphics that we just saw created by your team?
Well, yeah, I mean, like it's a combination. As you know, Unreal Engine offers a marketplace. So you have the opportunity to, to use some other artist graphics in combination with the abilities of your own team to build something entirely new. So something has been, most of it has been done by the team. Other parts have been combined by assets existing on the Unreal Engine marketplace. And really, the design though is really coming from the mind of Dennis, who's the lead game designer of the Hexarchia video game, our first title, and he's worked a lot in choosing all the details. He's really a maniac for the details. As you can see, all the trees, positioning them is super hard, especially for an economist as I am. I mean, I find it super impressive, and it's really unbelievable what he has done in the last months. I mean, it's already 1 year and a half we are developing Hexarchia, and yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask one more question before I let Ronan ask what he's got to kind of get on the table here. NFT gaming, we don't see a lot of projects. I think you touched on that. It's really an industry that's just barely getting off the ground. So what is the roadmap that you guys are kind of working with a launch? I know it gets tough with gaming as opposed to maybe a lot of the collectible series that we see, but gaming, your game in particular, would love to see a roadmap about when we could potentially get into that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening in 2020. Everything is happening. The alpha and the beta are going to happen in 2021. The final game is happening in 2022. We're doing our best for Q1 2022. I cannot really ensure that to you at the moment because we are really focusing on the alpha at the moment. But this is the alpha is going to be, I mean, already enjoyable. I mean, this is really something we are pushing ourselves for. We want, again, I want to insist on this. We want our players to have fun. So the alpha is going to be there soon, I promise, really soon. I mean, like sooner than you can think. And the fact is that our programmers are working to make it fun. So we want that. We don't want to sell NFTs for getting money and and eventually launch the game in 12 months. We want that to happen together. So we want to be we really want our community to enjoy their time. We don't want them to praise the Lord for launching the game after they purchase the NFTs. So this is important to us.
Yeah, and that's excellent to hear. And especially now with like a lot of these projects that kind of get launched and then you're not really sure what's going to take place next. Tell us a little bit about exactly what are the NFTs and what do they represent in the game, and what is your kind of plan on launching the NFTs and how they'll interact?
Yeah, that's an important question. First of all, I want to say that I believe that in between 2020, so I just real quick, I entered the space at 22 in 2017. I was early, and there was only Ethereum. There was no Polygon, there was no Binance Chain, there was no engine. I mean, engine was a really early stage, if it was there, we can say. And in 2020 and in 2021, the narrative of layer 2 as a kind of erupted, let's say, and now the idea is to have, I mean, not the idea, the certainty is to have our NFTs on Polygon. We love Polygon, and I mean, we love Ethereum, and we believe that Polygon is really helping Ethereum to do what they promised to do a few years back. And so our NFTs will be there, will be on Polygon, and there will be ERC 721 for the worlds, which again act as the in Hexarchia as the king acts in chess. So there will be major characters from history. I'm not saying which, but I mean major characters, and also for the equipments. So for the equipments, we are using the 1155. So we are dividing the NFTs. For the worlds, we use the 721. For the equipments, we use the 1155. And the idea is to attach financial benefits to these NFTs, which will not be there for the alpha. Although I encourage you to collect the NFTs when will be released, because the financial incentives they will be given to them in the future when the game will be completed. Although I don't want to push you to I don't want to. I mean, I told you already. So I mean, like it's at the first is gonna be about using them in game, collecting them. The fact of our NFTs, especially, I want to say to the communities watching us, is that our NFTs, the equipments, they are deflationary. So the idea is that there is 3 rarity levels: the classic, the epic, and the legendary, and there is 3 ascension levels. So each rarity, regardless it is classic, epic, or legendary, it can be leveled up 2 times. It's every NFTs start from the origin level, then you burn 2 origin level, you get a master level, you burn 2 master level, you get a supreme level. Okay, so this is already something you will see from the beta. Okay. It's not a financial incentive in the sense of staking, in the sense of giving fees from the marketplace, but it's already scarcity, which we believe is very important because we truly want our players to make money while they're playing Hexarchia. We're not promising it. We really want to make it, So we're not one of those games, I'm sorry to say so, but I have to, that is promising, they want it and they're not delivering it. We are building our economic infrastructure in a way that if people devote their time to Hexarchia, they get benefits from it. We believe this is massively important. This is the vision we have for blockchain video games in the future. And so this is really how we are building our NFTs right now. So they are deflationary. There is different rarity levels. Each rarity level can be leveled up in these ascension levels. And so this is how we are using NFTs for equipments at the moment, what I can tell you.
Which makes plenty of sense, and I love that you guys are kind of thinking about how, to keep value right in the project through the deflationary mechanics like that. So it's great to hear that you guys are going about that way. Beyond just kind of like having the achievements and the champions, what does the game look like maybe moving forward? Do you guys have some kind of long like stretch goals? Are you going to be implementing things like visual upgrades like skins as NFTs, or companions, additional units? Give us a little idea of what does Hexarchia look like in a year from now?
Yeah, definitely. So the first thing that we are thinking of is a play-to-win version, which is entirely new. So for sure, there will be daily, weekly, monthly tournaments where the best players of the day, the week, or the month, they get NFTs, very rare NFTs or very common NFTs. It depends on what you win. But we also want players to win cryptos. So we are building for the final version of Hexarchia. We want to have a community-owned economy governed by a DAO, and in which the players, there will be a competitive mode governed by this DAO. The competitive mode allows the best 4 players, for example, in a 6 free-for-all game, to win cryptos. We are already structuring the percentages and everything. So, but the idea is, for example, this. So we want a competitive mode where players win cryptos, not only NFT, although we love NFTs. I mean, it's amazing already that to exchange it on Hexarchia marketplace or third-party marketplaces, we will have that. So this is something new, and also with regards to skins, we also want to allow our players to customize the equipments and the worlds and the normal troops, which act as the army of the worlds. So there will be a customization system inspired by some amazing traditional video games. And the idea is that depending on the ascension level you are, for example, at the origin level, you cannot customize your weapon. So you have a legendary NFT, you have a classic NFT, it doesn't matter. If it is at the origin level, you cannot customize it. If you burn 2 of those origin level NFTs, you get to the master level. At the master level, you can change the color of your NFT already. And this is something, for example, in a sword, you can. I'm sorry, I'm not sure in English the names of the parts of the sword. Maybe you can help me. I'm sorry, not native, but you can customize that. So you can change the color of the different parts of the sword, of the shield, and everything. And you can sell that with the color you give it. So this is also very artistic. So if people are good at customizing it, they might sell it for a higher price. And then there is the last level. There you have the special effects, which are also collectibles. So you have the special effects, and you customize it to your weapon or to your shield. And so this is something we're working on for the final version of Hexarchia also.
Yeah, I'm interested in all of the different civilizations you have. I love studying classical history. You went with Japan, Rome, and Egypt here. Is there an ability to maybe in the future add a Greece, a China? Why did you go with those 3 specifically? And do they potentially have like different traits? I'm super interested in that side of it.
Well, we chose these 3 really for a matter of taste. I mean, we could have started from others. Rome, it's an easy call for us since most of the team is Italian, so that was really something we wanted to do, and we wanted something from Asia. So we believe that Japan, is really attractive. So, we went for Japan for Asia. And also, since for us it's important to be global, we are global since day one, so we wanted to give some space also to Africa, so we chose Egypt to start. And we are already in 3 continents. I think it's, at least historically speaking, not physically speaking. Yeah, that's really, it was a matter of taste of the team. Since there will be much more, it was really the same to us. So, we hope that you guys appreciate what we have decided.
Oh, we definitely appreciate what you guys are building here. This looks like a really cool project. We've gotten to the end of the interview. I want to highlight one thing before I let Ronan kind of touch on a community question or something that he's got. I do have that NFT giveaway here on my screen, Buff. We have the ability here to link you guys in the chat, the actual giveaway. So I've linked that. If you are the first 1,000 followers, and you guys are getting really close, it's 988. So if you want to participate in this giveaway, you have to basically go to that link. You're going to have to retweet. You're going to have to follow Hexarchia and comment tagging 3 of your friends, and you will be entered into that giveaway. So it looks like it's going to end relatively quickly here, and it's going to end at 1,000 followers. So get over there, do what you need to do, and we will work with Hexarchia to kind of collaborate with the Ladz a little bit more as well as you go down the line.
Yeah, for sure. I really encourage you guys to take part in the giveaway, because we are really giving away. I mean, like, we are giving away 1,000 Genesis NFTs. 100 will be allocated in the Twitter giveaway, the one we have just showed to you. It will be 60 classic NFTs, 30 epic NFTs, and 10 legendary NFTs. I want to highlight that we will give away these NFTs to people regardless of their followers, number of followers, or number of following. We are really democratic. So when we choose the people, it will be really like, it will be the algorithm to choose. So if you have 0 people following you, go ahead, try. You have your right there. You have your chance. Okay, try.
Awesome. So real quick from the community, Pulga in chat asked, how complex will it be? He says that some games can be played on mobile. Do you guys imagine that you'll be able to play it via mobile?
I mean, like, that's a question that, if you guys understood the kind of vision that we have, for this industry, the kind of quality we want to bring in this industry, and I mean, you can answer the question by yourself. So I mean, don't let me say more.
Awesome. Well, I think that that's pretty much all the questions that we had in chat. I think that kind of covered everything that I was curious in, man. I think the game looks excellent. Obviously, beautiful work. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it. I signed up for alpha. I'm following on Twitter. I hope everybody else in chat is doing the same, so you guys can cash in on that free giveaway. If Q, are you good? If you don't have any other questions, I think we're good with the guest, and we can kind of...
Yeah, no, we're good. Carlo, I think we hit 1,000 while we were live, so congratulations on hitting 1,000 followers there, and we're excited for that giveaway, man. Hopefully the Ladz can win some NFTs. But thank you for coming on the show, and this was a great interview.
Goodbye, guys. You're doing great, by the way. So really, my best compliments from me personally and from the whole team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming through. Have a great one.
Bye.
Grazie.
Look at you.
All right. Oh, I'm a little cultured. I'm a tad cultured. All right. Guys, hopefully you get over there and participate in that giveaway. That was an awesome walkthrough. I love having the founders there while we walk through the platform. It's like my favorite thing ever. So definitely keep an eye out for that project as they look to launch. What did you think, Ronan?
I think it looks really, really cool. I think I like the idea, obviously, of the having the warlords and then having the teams. The person, I'm sorry, my mind just went totally blank. Puga. So you mentioned auto chess, and I had actually asked that prior to us going live, because I was thinking it sounded a lot like an auto chess game, but he actually clarified that it's not going to be auto chess. It's going to be more like strategic, real, like actually like you take your turn and then I take my turn, and every player has like 5 parts of his turn that he'll be able to take. We didn't really get into mechanics of the game, but he did break it down a little bit. So it is going to be a little bit different in that way. That was kind of my first assumption as well. But I think that with that like said, it's got a lot of like ability, man. Like I think that I'm really big into auto battlers right now. I've been playing this chess champions or whatever it is on my phone a lot lately. And so I get hooked on those, man. And I think this is, you know, to couple it with the NFTs and be able to get those NFTs that represent not only like the players, but also represent the equipment that you're using. And then you're able to like change the cosmetic side of it and then sell it on the marketplace. I think that gives the project a little bit of longevity, and you can understand how, you know, what the roadmap is, kind of the vibe, right? Like what they're going for there. So cool project, man.
Absolutely, and we were happy that we had some comments going along. It looks like Asmodai was commenting. I think Ronan touched on a lot of the comments as well from Polga. So definitely excited for that project to continue to build out the industry, man. And NFT gaming is definitely one that is not as large as it will be in a year or two. I think NFT gaming is going to be one of the largest industries pushing NFTs forward, man. And we'll see, you know, big projects, small studios, all the above when it comes to NFTs here in 2022 and beyond. But all right, I think we are good to go. We had Crypto Crayons here in the chat ask, what's the Marvel announcement? Sorry, just got here. We haven't hit the NFT news yet, so you are in luck here. We are going to dive into the main topics, and the first topic is going to be from Fewocious, who did his drop there at Christies here over the past, I believe, 24 hours. It might even be live now. I just know that Fewocious is at Christies. Big news. I think we have a trailer to run, but Ronan, do you have anything before we jump into that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's the auction started a few days ago. I think it closes in like a day or two. Few was actually in New York at Christie's yesterday. Did like a live chat with everybody who came. He did an excellent job, man. I'm just so stoked. I'm super proud to say that like we were one of the first people in the space to interview him back in November, which was an excellent interview. But yeah, so Few at Christie's.
The story behind this body of work is my life and my coming out to the world, coming out as trans, my story growing up and hiding who I was for so long and feeling unheard, and finally I'm putting all that quietness and those secrets I kept, I'm putting it all out there and expressing it. I'm Victor and I'm an artist. I work digitally and I use my iPad and Procreate, and when I work physically I use canvas and acrylic paint, sometimes oil paint. My art is super colorful and vibrant, and from far away it looks like a really happy children's book. When you look back again, you kind of realize that the posture of the characters, it wasn't happy and it's all like a facade. One thing that's hard about this, I know I could kind of do anything and express myself, but my big fear is I would be expressing how I feel right now, and I really want this piece to encapsulate how I felt when I was 14, and I don't know, like when I add something, I'm like, did I add that because that's how I felt when I was 14, or because it's how I feel now? My family wasn't accepting of me, and I had no support system where I lived. So I needed a way out, and I needed something to distract me from the nothing that I had in my life. So that something was art, and that something was putting my feelings that my teachers, my friends, my family wouldn't hear. The canvas was that something. People get uncomfortable sometimes looking at my artwork. I think the vulnerability I'm showing kind of forces someone to reflect on their lives, whatever the piece is about. And I like that it is art about me, but I'm like making someone reflect. What excites me the most is that this trans boy from Las Vegas that was stuck in a home where no one heard him actually has a voice and can speak to other trans kids. And ideally, I hope that this collection reaches those kids. if I could say something to little Victor, I would say my family's wrong. And I would say you're gonna meet amazing people in this world. And you're gonna make amazing art. And you can follow your dreams. And you're gonna have an amazing team. And you're gonna have people that support you. Even when you feel alone in this world and you feel like you wanna die every day, don't do it. Life is so beautiful. You just have to make it through these few years. And you'll know what being happy feels like. And you'll know what it's like to hear someone say, hey Victor, and just like be so casual about it. And you'll be happy. That's what I would say.
Wow. I'll let you talk first, man, unless you good?
Dude, like,
Yeah.
to see someone like that get the attention they deserve, you know, I asked Few to be like one of the first people that I interviewed because I felt like he had like a story to tell, and he had like just opened up to me like through DM. And when he told me like how like his family felt about him and how like he was going through all this stuff, it's just like, man, like you're going through so much and you're so young, right? Like you're so young, but yet you're so wise. And for NFTs, shout out to Few. Check out the interview. We look so young, man. NFTs change lives. You know what I mean? And I think in some cases, it can save lives. And for Few, I think that that's probably part of it. And art is a huge thing. And obviously for the space, it's huge for anybody to be at Christie's. But I think that Few, Victor deserves it. Like he deserves to be there. He deserves to have his story shared. He deserves for people to understand like what it's like for someone to grow up and be confused about who they are and wanting to be themselves and have a family who does not give a shit and doesn't care about you. And I was in a room, you know, when the auctions went live, and he talked about how, you know, someone's like, have you heard from your family? And he was like, well, yeah, I did hear from my family, but basically they reached out just to say, hey, we saw that you're like at Christie's, and we see that like you came out as trans, and like we don't give a crap basically, and you're nothing, you don't mean anything to us, you're a disgrace to the family, like all this stuff. And it's like, this kid is changing the world, he's saving lives, and he's extremely successful, and he's only 18 years old. So look, shout out to Few. Victor, you know I love you, brother, and we love everything you're doing, so keep it going, man. You got a story to share, and more people need to hear it, and we need to lead with love, and I feel like that's like the message. So Few,
it's super interesting here. It's super interesting to hear Few talk like this, because I don't think you heard him talk so retrospectively when the come up was happening. Like it was all happening so quick. That was the first time in that video that I actually started to really understand the art that he's creating, right? Where it forces you to be kind of self-reflective, and how it's different when you look at it from afar and then you look in and see the pain that's there. That was the first time I heard Few talk like that. And I think he's able to be way more self-reflective now that he's had that journey. It's nuts to hear it from this angle, and to see that video of you interviewing him, like when just a baby, you know, it feels like it is a year ago, but it feels like more, as we always like to say. But the journey that he's been on since that interview has been absolutely nuts, and it seems like there's a lot of self-reflectiveness that's happening now. And I definitely want to give a shout out to Few. We wanted to highlight him immediately, and hopefully that we already know it's going to be a successful sale. And shout out to Few 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got a fun top story to talk about next, huh? This was great.
Let's go from
what was
that
fun
one
about this one? Yeah, let's go from heartbreaking to heartbreaking, right? Like, let's talk a little bit about Bulls on the Block. A few of us were in Ladz City hanging out when this went live and chatting about what took place. So why don't you give us the rundown?
Yeah, so I mean, TLDR, if you weren't part of the Bulls on the Block sale, you're not alone. There was a sale of 10,000 bulls, and they got bought up relatively quickly by mainly people who were able to put in more gas than your regular investor. I think that's kind of the controversy that's out right now, is that by the end of this sale that lasted 4 or 5 minutes, you basically had it all of the bulls in the hands of about 1,200 people. So I'm going to try to find the actual tweet here, but we have some announcements from their Discord. They came out and said, hey, this was an awesome drop. We were really upset. Okay, so here it is right here. This is a bittersweet moment for the team. We wanted deeply a strong starting base of followers that love the art and believed in the project. We know that the awful gas prices and the bump start kept many of you out of the project. We will do everything in our power to get this solved. There were some other controversies that came out where you saw bulls move from one wallet to another, basically a wallet that had not been active at all. So maybe an attempt to distribute the bulls in a maybe nefarious way so that it would seem like a more decentralized project. But that is basically the controversy. It is surrounding these drops that continuously sell out. I mean, you could start a generative project. We could be live on air, start a generative project, and it would probably sell out if we gave it a little bit of marketing. That is just where we are in this hype cycle. And the question then becomes, how do you get the generative art into the hands of people, into the hands of not 100 whales? We know the pranksies, we know the beanies that are out there. And how do we make sure that this gets distributed among maybe 3,000 to 4,000? I think that seems to be kind of that nice sweet spot. Of course, you're not going to get one for every person. It's not going to be 10,000, but having it be around that 1,000 investor mark seems to be against the narrative that we want to see in crypto, and that's what we're seeing for bulls on the block.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I think that, and to the team's, credit, what are you going to do about that, right? Like, I mean, anybody who took place, that there was like 3 different projects. They all were launching within 30 minutes of each other. 2 of them launched at the same exact time, which was Bulls and another project. Polymorphs had launched 30 minutes earlier. So you were seeing all types of issues, right? The demon heads or hash demons launched 30 minutes before that. So with all these projects, you saw thousands and thousands of people trying to get through, and it caused a massive congestion issue. How do you fix it? I don't know. I think that like when it comes to these projects, like they're going to have a lot of pushback regardless of what they decide to do, right? Like a lot of people say, well, why don't you just limit how many they can buy? Well, if you limit how many they can buy and you don't have enough interest, then what happens to the people that were willing to buy more than that limit, right? Like if you say I can only buy 20, but what if like I'm really interested in the project and I want to own 40, right? Like, and we only get to 6,000 of 10,000 sold. Now I can't buy anymore. So that's an issue, right? Like what happens if, you do something that is off chain? I don't know. You've got all these issues regardless of how you approach it. I think, you got like degens, which they came out yesterday and said that they're going to say like a date, but they're not going to give you a time. So like, you'll know it'll be on like, July 3rd. But unless you're in their Discord, they did say in their Discord, they'll drop the link, right? So like the people who are in Discord will get that access to the link first. And then it's like whoever comes later. So they're trying to like, in that approach, you're trying to reward your community for being early, for being tuned in, for being plugged in, right? Yep. But then people who come later are going to be like, I wasn't in the Discord. I didn't have like the notification, or I didn't know it went live. That's not fair to me. So, what do you do?
Yeah, it seems like that favors people who maybe don't have like a full-time job in crypto, right? Like if you have to be on point in their Discord at any point, what if you're at work, and what if you're doing all these different things? I'm going to hit Asmodai's comment here. He's saying supply to more people is the issue across the board. Lots of trial and error on wax, but no solution seems to work. And that's the debate we're having. We're trying to figure this out as we go, and no one has solved this. I think NBA Top Shot has done a little bit of good work here, where they've added essentially points that you get as a collector, and you can only take part in those if you have a certain amount of points. Because at one point you're sitting at 200, 300,000th in line, and you're like, what the hell is going on here? So it's but even them, they're getting a lot of flack for being that 200, 3,000 person in line. How do you deal with the demand that's happening right now? I don't know. I've got it up on my screen. I don't know as we go through this, but Ronan, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, man. I honestly, like, as somebody who's like in the space and like helping like advise and stuff like other projects, it's really difficult on how you fix it, right? Because it's an issue across the board for anything, right? Like if it's an iPad or Apple phone launch, people are going to complain when the site crashes. If it's a physical drop, people are going to complain that, somebody showed up 2 days earlier than they did. Like you're never ever going to please everybody. You just try to do whatever you can figure out is most fair. I think when it comes to the generative projects, that kind of makes it fair in itself, like them being generated and you not knowing what you're going to get until after the mint. I think it's just a matter of like making sure enough people are able to access that want to buy in at the initial launch, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I think that like there's a lot of different ways to go about it. I think no matter what you do, you're going to upset some people.
Truth. And we were in the Gutter Cat Club earlier. Gutter Cat Gang had their launch and it didn't go that well. And it seems like they've rebounded super awesomely. And so that even the launches themselves maybe don't correlate to a long-term success. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to have some type of issue with your project long-term if you botch the launch or you have something happen. The Gutter Cat Gang being the best example. So even with this bulls on the block scenario, you see that the floor price right in front of you, the cheapest bull on the market right now is 0.16. That's 2x what you're paying for there in the distribution sale. So even with this situation, you still see the return, which is going to continue pumping this cycle.
Yeah. And I think that, to chats, they're actually dropping some different approaches. And I think one that I do like is that Sam said, why not set a limit and gradually up it over time? It would would even potentially accommodate people who work and can't be on during a specific time, like in the middle of the day. So maybe like on day one, you're only allowed to get, X amount. On day two, you're only allowed to get X amount. And that's an approach that I think, there's maybe you can go that way. But now you're talking about a project that's the launch is dragged out over days, right? ZedRun is trying to do something where they release things in waves. So like you get a ticket for one of the waves, and then the wave you're in has like its own allotment of the supply, right? And it's like the same amount, right? So like imagine 2,500 in 4 waves, right? And you can only get into 1 wave per your MetaMask or something. But then you run into the issue of like, it's a whale, they can boot up at however many wallets they want, right? So, I think you're always going to run into issues. But shout out to the Bulls. I think a lot of people are really excited about that project. I've seen the roadmap and I've seen like the team working on it. They said they're going to announce today what they're going to be doing as far as like the people who got caught up with the gas. I ended up with like 0.13 ETH of gas that I lost in that. Like, and I legit put it in as soon as it went through, and I put it in for like 175 gas, and I still had a failed transaction. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So Asmodai dropped in Ladz City. If you guys don't know what Ladz City is, it's our Discord, it's our home, it's our community, it's the network that you see. But Ladz City, our Discord, houses a lot of great NFT chats and all these different things. And Asmodai dropped that Voxodeus actually retroactively is going back in I guess dropping ETH to the people that participated, basically lowering the price with which the assets were actually sold at initially. So that's an interesting piece. I want to shout out to Ramses here. Ramses makes a great point. First project sold on a curve and people didn't like that much, but it did keep some available on the primaries longer. That's a great point. People did not like the bonding curve, but it did keep some available for people longer.
Yeah, but it's the trade-off there is that like I don't know. To me, that's the same trade-off, right? Because the trade-off for that was you got in at the bonding curve already at what 3 or 4 times what it cost the first wave, right?
Yep.
Like, so that's the issue with the bonding curve is like, it still caters to the whales, right? Like a whale can come in and buy up an entire like first tier of a bonding curve if they're first, right? Like, and then whoever comes next is having to pay double or triple the price anyway. So like you're still, as somebody who like, let's say it's 0.08 ETH, as somebody who, let's say I only got 0.16 to spend, I want to grab 2, like that doesn't solve it for me, because by the time it hits tier 2 or tier 3, I'm already down to only being able to afford 1, right? Like,
well, you have to be early.
You're gonna upset somebody. You have to be. Yeah, but that doesn't that turns into gas wars, because then you have to be early, and you have to have faster gas, and you have to have more money.
Yeah, and bonding curves, Tigbo saying bonding curves have also killed some projects. We saw hash masks, I believe. It was one of these that launched with the bonding curve, and people were just so upset at it that they didn't kind of FOMO in at all. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to find the right answer. I think I love these discussions though, man. As we look at the Bored Ape Yacht Club's floor price sitting at about 2.85. The one thing I will say, especially now with the doggos, we did an awesome kennel dog show on this past Friday. Went super well. The one thing I will say is I know this might piss you off a little bit, Ronan, because I know you were super against the reveal aspect of a lot of these because it leads to potential rugs. But I think that process of cloaking the actual asset until a certain point drives up secondary sales like crazy. People are FOMOing in for these dogs because they want the golden one. They want this. I think it's genius from getting secondary market sales to drive the project, but the points you make still apply. I agree.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, like I think that there's pros and cons of all of it, right? Like you're like we were talking about just with the distribution, you're not always going to have a solution that makes everybody happy. So I do think that there's a really cool environment created by this, cloaking and then kind of like putting off the reveal, right? Because it gives the Ethereum quote unquote drops that same feel like wax sales days had, right? Like you have this like the whole community is just ready for this moment, and then everyone's in Discord. As you guys saw, we cut to Discord a couple times. The Discord was absolutely crazy. So it creates like this environment that almost like is meant to win, right? Like you should win an environment like that. So yeah, I like it. I really do. And I think that, we're going to see more of it, and that's fine. I did like being able to see my ape, a couple of minutes after I pulled it out or I paid for the minting. But I really enjoyed Friday afternoon. And I think that a lot of people in the community did, and it gave everybody like something to chat about and kind of like, it gave us a good Friday night in the NFT space. And I think we need a lot more of that,
100%. Yeah. Speaking of community, Crypto Stash is in the house. Want to give a quick shout out to Crypto Stash. He and Ken Bozak host NFTB. I believe that's going to be a little bit after our episode here. So you guys should definitely check out NFTB. They do a great job over there. So want to give a quick shout out to Crypto Stash. Last thing I'm going to show really quick, because we did start the episode in the Gutter Cat Club. I got to give a shout out to Gutter Cat Gang here. Up on my screen, I have the floor price of Gutter Cats, 1.24, which is amazing. I mean, I think they're really running with the narrative of the lower supply here on the Gutter Cats. So I think there's about 3,000 total, and I see a lot of Gutter Cats in the house. So shout out to Gutter Gang. You guys are definitely bouncing back in a strong way here. And for those people who, got into Gutter Cats pretty early, doing super well. So we'll touch back on a couple of these other generative art projects. I'll talk. I don't think we're going to mention Buff's Yeti, but we will see what's going on in in the rest of the episode as we move on.
Oh man, I love it, dude. Oh my coins. Let's throw Ronan's t-shirt some love. Such an abomination. Shout out to KOGS. We're going to touch on that here shortly. Our next story though up is ZedRun. ZedRun Breeding is back. So anybody who follows this project knows that they took breeding out. I think it was like forever ago, man. It's probably been like 6, 7, 8 months at this point. But it is something that a lot of the people in the community really really enjoy. It adds a little bit of, gamification to the project. And I think that, for all it's seen, breeding is back. It's another injection to the community to get people excited. So breeding is back. ZedRun, it is on Matic, so you're not having to pay any fees. Shout out to anybody who's involved in that project. I've got 2 Z2s that I'm probably gonna be throwing up to breed at some point. So let's check it out. Let's see how it works. See if I make some money.
Yeah. Honestly, you guys couldn't hear it there, but they had some Marvin Gaye playing in the background of that video too. So definitely good marketing on their part. Breeding's back. ZedRun is definitely one I am upset I missed out on early. 2017, I remember checking out ZedRun and just for whatever reason, maybe CryptoKitties, I was holding a big bag and didn't want to get in, but definitely cool shout out to ZedRun. I'm going to have the next story here. We had a community member, a chat member, if you will, talk about Marvel. So we are going to get into this story. A lot of text on this story, so I'm not going to have Buffalo get all up in arms about the text block that we have here. All you need to know here is VeVe is partnering with Marvel. There isn't any actual kind of assets that have been shown by Marvel or by VeVe, but you can download this app, of which we have some Ladz community members that have voiced their opinion on the VeVe app. But iOS and Android, you're going to be able to collect Marvel, and I believe DC Comics is also making their way to VeVe. So a lot of good business development happening within this platform, and we see Marvel getting into the space. That's going to be a big one to watch because it's an amazing IP from a collectible standpoint. I'm interested to see where they move going forward here. So big announcement there from Marvel and VeVe.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to clarify, DC's already on the platform. I have VeVe on my my app or my phone. It's a cool app, man. It feels real good. It's super intuitive. It's a little unclear though, as far as like the actual NFTs themselves are concerned. There's not really a lot of information about the NFTs. So, but outside of that, really high quality product. I think that, you'll see a lot coming from that team moving forward. Next up, we do have a little chat about KOGS. So KOGS had their 3rd edition limited edition sale over the weekend. That started on Saturday. I believe it was a 12-hour sale. As you see here, we have got some metrics for you that Q has pulled up. Looks like they sold a total of 8,640 SKUs total, which basically means of the different types of offerings they had. So they had the booster pack, they had the starter pack, then they had the mega chest. The mega chest included, I think it was like 3 starter packs, a booster pack, and then a topper. And then you have the collector's booster boxes and the collector's starter boxes, which were basically like box sets of packs. So I think you got like 30 boosters or something like that, or whatever packs in each box. And that's huge, man. I mean, obviously, KOGS has been around for a minute, and they've got a great product, and they've got a lot coming down the pike for their ecosystem of games that can utilize these NFTs, which is really cool. A lot of people talk about NFT gaming. KOGS can be utilized right now. If you sign up for the beta, you can jump into the KOGS Slam game, and you can actually play a digitized version of the 90s POGs classic. So you can use these NFTs. You can put them in your stack. They stack them up visually. Use a slammer from your collection, the whole thing. It's really, really cool. It's a great experience. Definitely something to check out if you're looking for NFTs in gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to make a quick comment here, because based on what's on my screen here with the actual analytics, and if we go to CryptoSlam, we can see that there's a little bit of a disparity here. There's a collection volume, as you see here, with about 512,000. That's about 5.4 million wax. They also launched on BSC, I believe. So there's a little bit of a cross interoperability there with the marketplaces. But going to CryptoSlam and checking out what Wax has or what KOGS has, there's a little bit of a disparity. This is on a 7-day time frame, so I would love to see that get checked out to see if we can't see where KOGS would eventually be. That would put him in like the top 15 projects in NFTs right now. But definitely want to see a little bit of that updated data, either from CryptoSlam or from the team, and see how much they raised. So little side note here as well. I remember when me and Ronan were covering the NFT space, and it was like awesome if you got 10K and you were like number 2. So crazy to see 7-day sales here at 36 mil with Axie Infinity. My goodness. And then we see obviously other top projects there. So big shout out to the NFT industry. We're killing it.
Wow. What did Axie have over? Did they have a land sale or something?
Nope.
What did they do? Just 36 in secondary, just straight up.
That's just Axie Infinity. That's just Axie Infinity for the longest time when they moved to Ronin. First of all, Ethereum was definitely drawing their sales back, right? You didn't have as much activity once they moved to their own sidechain, and then once Crypto Slam started to actually analyze the data or show the data, you can actually see them at number one. So for the longest time, Crypto Slam, once they moved to Ronin, didn't even record them on this statistics, which is it sucks because a lot of the industry uses this, right? So Axie's very notably at the top here. Right.
Cool. Well, great to see them there. Obviously, we all appreciate Axie and what they've done for the NFT gaming space. Next up, we actually have a little Ladz news. So Hunter, who is a Lad, he's also part of the NFT drops. My mind just went totally blank, dude.
Nifty drops.
He's also part of the Nifty Drops team, which shout out to them. Their app has been, from what I understand, their app has been approved and will be launching on iOS and on Google Play Store here soon. And that's an excellent project. So, we appreciate those guys and everything they do for the community. But Hunter himself has put together a really cool project. This is what he's calling the Yawn of the Apes. And what this is it's essentially a short cartoon series that's based on or uses Bored Ape characters, right? So the first episode that he's got coming up is going to be featuring one of the apes from Jimmy.eth is what a lot of people know him as. Episode 2 is going to be yours truly and Black Hat. And episode 3 is going to be one of Pranksy's apes. So I feel very yeah.
Go ahead. Finish it.
I feel very honored to be right smack dab in two of the biggest movers in the NFT space. Period. I'm really happy. Yeah, I know. I told him to give you a holler, brother. So hopefully he will. I don't know. Do you have that? Can you pull up that preview? Because I feel like the animation is really cool.
Hold on. Run that back and let me see this guy's nipples one more time.
I love
the artwork on the nipples. Wow, this is I'm super excited. Me and Buff were talking about this before the episode. This really was exciting. We wanted more. We were like, it's only 8 seconds, but apparently we're getting that really here shortly. I don't know, when does it come out again?
Yeah, so Jimmy's episode actually is going to be dropping, I think Hunter said tomorrow. So if you guys are not, make sure you get on Twitter, Yawn of the Apes. Tomorrow, I think, is episode 1. It is going to be really good. He gave me kind of a little gist of it. I actually had my meeting with Hunter yesterday about my episode, and I'm super stoked because what he wrote is just going to be so good. It's really on point. What I like is that he's really incorporating the owner, the collector's personality into the ape and their personality on the show. So sorry, man. Hunter, somebody needs to reach out.
No, dude, I can't wait to watch your episode specifically. Is your voting still going on?
Oh, smack. Yeah, it is actually. I think for a couple more hours. I think we're sitting solid. I don't know if you go to punks.comic, guys, everybody who's hanging out with us, if you don't know, Black Hat, which is my main ape, is actually in the Punks comic competition. It's called Ape Madness. You go to punkscomic.com. You click the Ape Madness button in the top right-hand corner. You guys are going to scroll all the way down, almost to the bottom, and you're looking for matchup number 26. It's going to be your boy Black Hat. Yep, there it is, against Lucifer and Evil Flanders. So 59%. We're looking pretty good. We got 3 hours left. Definitely shoot me a vote if you guys don't mind. And actually, Q, if you don't mind, we've actually got a buddy of mine. Scroll down just one. Matchup 29, right there on the left, the Gold Grill Sailor, Clarence. can you vote for my friend? I'd appreciate it. If anybody else in chat is hanging out and you haven't voted yet, oh God, if you could vote for Clarence, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, I love what they're doing with the Punks comic. Super excited that Black Hat made it into the competition. And shout out to Hunter for Yawn of the Apes. I think it's going to be really cool. Really looking forward to being part of that project as well. Q, you had something to say about
Hunter. I am the only albino ape that has ears with the bubble gum to match. What do I gotta do here? Like, literally, I'm the only, like, the hat matches the fur, and it looks like I'm an actual bunny. That's the only one that is like that. What do I gotta do to get on this? I'll sponsor Nifty Drops. I'll do whatever I have to do. Get me on Yawn of the Apes.
It needs to happen. To be fair, I'd love to see an episode where your ape was going nuts during like a failed NFT drop. That'd be a good one.
Somebody fix this shit.
Yeah. So speaking of punks a little bit, you got some news on the punks floor is rising. Why is that?
Punks floor is Ronan's doing a great job flowing us through the episode. Usually it's me that's like, okay, let's move on to the next topic. Now I'm just all out of whack, and Ronan's doing a great job flowing us through. So real quick, we saw this piece here where not Sean Combs, but Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z, Mr. Carter on Twitter, actually changed his profile picture. He was also in a Twitter Spaces. I'm going to make sure I get that right. Make sure I'm not a boomer there, but a Twitter Spaces for NFTs and title, and was talking with Jack Dorsey. So along with the floor rising, which I'll pull up here on OpenSea here in a second, we do see a lot of individuals getting in to CryptoPunks. I mean, CryptoPunks is definitely going to see a big uptick, and that's what you're seeing in the floor price right now. They're always going to be the first of its kind. Even though they're not the first of their kind, they are traditionally known as kind of the Bitcoin of generative art pieces, if you will, if you follow me there. None for buy now, huh? Okay. So how do I actually see the floor here? It was about 17 ETH.
I was gonna say, I don't think that you can view and buy them. I don't know. I was trying to figure out the other day, and I felt like maybe you have to actually go to the Larva Labs website to be able to even purchase them. Like I felt like OpenSea showed nothing, but then maybe it's just because nobody's selling them. I'm not really sure. I will say this though, I'm getting FOMO on punks, and I really want a punk, and I've been thinking a lot about like punks. So I'll put it out there. I've got 2 ZedRun Z2s. If anyone wants to trade, I'll trade my 2 Z2s.
So Crypto Stamina says,
and they're matching coat colors, which is important. Just saying.
Listen, we don't really care about traits on this show. Apparently, if my bunny can't get onto a damn. All right, all right. Peace.
I was gonna say I had one other thing. I had one other thing I did want to say. You know how they say, like, you know, the longer like a dog is owned by someone, like they start to look like their owner. Is it just me, or does that punk look exactly like Jay-Z all of a sudden? Like, didn't see it at first. The more and more I look at it, I'm like, holy crap, that's like Jay-Z. It's got the gold necklace. Anyway. All right. So CyberKongz have also made.
Go ahead. Just flow it, just do it. CyberKongz, we have some CyberKongz guys in the chat. Lander is definitely a big one. Want to give a quick shout out to DJ Savage as well. I'm going to try to find the article, but go ahead, Ronan, take it away.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Savage and DJ Savage Radio on Ladz City Radio, or Ladz Radio rather, doing a great job there, man. I love to see it. It's great to like be able to pop in during the day sometimes and just listen to some tunes while I work. But CyberKongz, the big announcement for CyberKongz is that they are entering the Metaverse. So they have partnered with the Sandbox, and they are bringing your CyberKongz into the Sandbox. They're working out this program where you will be able to basically confirm your identity via your wallet, and you will get a CyberKong that is a 3D rendition of your Kong. So Really cool, dude. I think that this is like, the next step, right? Like, what do you use these generative NFTs for? And I think that to be able to use them in the metaverse and actually use them as your digital identity is an important part of where we're going and where we're moving to. And it's interesting because when you consider like how many people are changing their profile pictures on like Twitter, right? That's like a metaverse. And like now we're really starting to take on these identities and people are really becoming like these things. So the chat with what's his name, Jack and Jay-Z was interesting because they touched a little bit about NFTs and the possibility of like, merging them into their platforms.
Yeah, they were talking specifically about a lot about audio NFTs. I think the metaverse piece is definitely a conversation to be had. Whether all of these communities will be separate at first. That's my big thing. I don't think anyone's attacking the let's get a Kong and a Bored Ape and a Gutter Cat gang all together in one city, as opposed to like kind of making these clubs essentially. Like what we really want is that Ready Player One vibe. We want everybody to be together. But what I think this will be right off the start is you'll have your Gutter Cat gang over here and you'll have your Bored Ape Yacht Club over here. And there won't be much mixing. You'll see like very much a isolated community in all of these, in a larger metaverse that is the sandbox. But fuck, if someone can do the thing where they're all bringing it together, it would be dope.
Exactly. And that's where we're going to get to, man, eventually, right? Like you'll be able to drop into something like Decentraland and you'll be able to like walk the streets and you'll see like a Kong coming down the street and you'll see your Bored Ape going that way or, somebody in their Bored Ape hoodie or whatever. And they'll go off down an alleyway and they'll hit a secret door and they'll use their NFT for access. And that will be something that, really draws the line, right? And that like differentiates, right? Imagine the Kong walks up to this gate and they like, wave their hand and now they get entrance because they're holding the right NFT. And when other people see that they get to enter this cool space, now they want to be part of it, right? So Ready Player One, dude, I'm ready for it for sure. But shout out to CyberKongz and their community. Just like Pollution said in chat, I too have a little FOMO for not picking up a CyberKongz. And I apologize to Lander for not trusting in the Kongs.
Unfortunate, man. Well, he did get us an unreddit Avastar, so I can understand the hesitation there, Lander. No, I'm just joking, man. You're doing a great job with CyberKongz. The other piece I will talk about before we hop into the next generative art and then pretty much out of the episode is the idea that these projects should probably get people to engage with their assets, because the longer I have this ape as my profile picture, the harder it gets for me to sell this damn thing. Like that, I think that is such an interesting game theory piece. Like I have this guy. If someone had given me a certain amount of ETH, like right off the back, maybe the first day, I probably would have taken it. Now it's going to take more and more ETH as this becomes, like you're saying, our avatar piece. So I think that's a really cool game theory piece that you could work out as a project that's selling these. The dogs are another great example. If I can use the dog, I'll probably get attached and won't want to sell the damn dog. So it's something I've been looking at.
Absolutely. And when you consider the fact that that's what they're looking towards now, right? Like, so if you own a pair, like a dog and an ape, they have confirmed you will be getting like a specific drop just for owning one of each, right? They also confirmed that the dogs will be getting their own drop as well. And I think that's where like you provide value and you continue to provide value, right? Like, and in my opinion, I was like, yo, how dope would it be if they did a merchandise drop that was only accessible to dogs and everything in the merchandise store was either a dog item or like they had the dogs like carrying stuff in their mouths, or like a dog, like an item that your a man's best friend, right, would bring you. Like imagine like beer koozies, slippers, like like those types of items, right? But only accessible by those who hold a dog, not by those who own an ape, right? Now you're giving it its own life and you're giving it its own reason to have value. And I think that's where we're going. So, I love the apes, love to see what they're doing there. And to your point, I actually think that like, it's interesting. I wonder if like the value, because it's your avatar, will also bring up, right? Like if that will play into it, right? Because I'll be honest, the highest like random bid that I got on the 3 apes that I have wasn't on the one that's the most rarest. It was on Black Hat. I had like a 6 ETH offer on it. And the second highest I had was a 4 ETH offer for the Jimmy one, which is a pimp coat, which is the rarest I have.
Yeah. It will work like that for major influencers. It will 100% work that way. We see that in traditional space. It's not just what the item is. It's who owned the item and what did they do with it. So I know we were having this debate a long time ago, but I brought up the Freddie Mercury's guitar and that he played with at Wembley. It's like the assets aren't valuable just because what they are, a guitar, who owned it, Freddie Mercury, but what they did with it. That's what hasn't come into play with NFTs yet, is the metaverse doesn't exist, so no one can really do something with it. But imagine if Vitalik threw a dope ETH party at a certain crypto voxel's estate. That estate definitely becomes more valuable because of it. So, dude, great discussions, man. I think you're onto something with the idea that a Bored Ape is going to be more expensive because who owned it. Yeah.
That's why I invested in the one I picked up from Jimmy. I'm like, yo, he's an icon. Like, he's gonna be like, people like in 10 years, people are gonna know like Jimmy was a founder in the NFT space, and to have like an ape that he minted, I feel like would add value. So definitely an interesting conversation. Shout out to everybody in the chat who's taking part and kind of throwing out their own ideas on what some cool collaborations would be like, or who can make, bring these all together. I'll say this, the Punks comic team, right? What do they call it? The Meta Vault guys? Like, they're kind of starting it, right? Like, the second comic is going to include apes. I could imagine them throwing in Gutter Cat Gang for the third comic. And now you've got this universe where all these generative art project avatars are becoming like, are coming to life, and now they're interacting in this shared universe. So, and here is another one, Deadheads. Deadheads is launching tomorrow. I put this on the list over some of the other ones. There's quite a few of them coming, but I put this on the list because I feel like this one is one of the highest quality generative projects that I've seen. One, you have the 3D art, which is definitely really, really well done. They've dropped a ton of sneak peeks in their Discord. But you also have a pretty solid roadmap that kind of gives you a clear understanding of where they're going. One of the coolest things they're doing with this is they're actually are planning to do an animated television show, or maybe a YouTube series, but it's going to be an animated series. They already have a 2D and a 3D trailer for them that they're going to be releasing to the community. And if you own a Deadhead, it's like a DAO. You're going to be able to have the ability to vote on whether you want it to be a 2D or a 3D cartoon. And whichever style the community chooses is where they're going to, the style they'll continue to move forward. They also have some cool things built in, like they're going to take, I think it's like 10% of all secondary sales and buy out the floor off of OpenSea.
Doing buybacks.
They're going to do buybacks. And then what they'll do is they'll either re-release them in some way, or they'll burn them to bring the scarcity, right? The supply down. So, some really cool ideas to kind of bring value. The animated series, being able to, like, if you have a Deadhead and it's featured in the animated series, that type of stuff, obviously you get access to their Discord. They also have plans for Metaverse graveyards. So instead of houses or clubs or whatever, you'll have a graveyard, and the graveyard will feature all of the different Deadheads. So I think it's a cool project. I love the art. Launching tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I will be there. I will be picking up a Deadhead. If you're going to be there, make sure you jump into ladz.city and you hop into Discord and check out the NFT channel, because that's where we'll be chatting about it, and we'll be checking out, what's going down for that launch, as well as the other. There's like seriously 4 or 5 of them launching tomorrow.
I in the middle of that talk where you were throwing out some of the cool things that the Deadhead team is doing, it just hit me, and it hits me every freaking day, but it just hit me randomly while Ronan was talking. It's so much. Like, it is so much, and it's hard to keep up with what's happening in the space. Literally every team is just taking a model and then iterating a little bit, and they're doing it so fast. So if you do, like Ronan said, if you feel like you're interested in NFTs, definitely hop into ladz.city, ladz.city. And we're always talking NFTs in there. That's the only way I can keep up, is by sourcing all of the info between, you, me, all of the different guys in the chat. Buffalo, Furo's been great in the chat. There have been so many people. Asmodai has been dropping gaming alpha. It's impossible, man. It's almost like it's just gotten crazier. I just remember the days where there would be a drop a week. A year ago, a drop a week. And now it's just incredibly different. So,
Yeah, we used to talk. We used to talk at our pre-show, and we talk about how like we didn't have anything to talk about, and we were like scrambling for news, and now it's like there's so much news, and I don't even know what to do with it. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up, guys. Deadheads looks excellent. I think that these guys are on point with this project.
Absolutely. For those of you guys that are involved in Illuvium, it looks like this is just from their Discord. I was able to download basically a yield farming opportunity. Again, not investment advice, but if you hold ILV, they're starting rewards for that token here shortly. So definitely go to their Twitter, go to their Discord. If you don't know what Illuvium is, you definitely want to check it out. I don't want to talk about them too much, or Kaggy's going to find me and destroy me for talking about Illuvium and not Axie Infinity, but an ILV pool and a ILV/ETH pool that I believe will be getting more of the rewards. But if you do own ILV and it's just sitting there, which is something I'm going to do, is get into this pool here, because there's no risk of impermanent loss or anything. It's basically just a pool where you'll get rewards for staking your ILV. The only risk there is an exploit or a rug pull or anything like that. This pool is a little bit different. Obviously, you have ILV and ETH, so there's a little bit of impermanent loss involved there. But if you are an ILV that is launching on SushiSwap, good luck. Non-investment advice whatsoever. Do your own damn research. Do not rely on us to make your investment decisions for you. So that is a phenomenal episode, boys. I want to bring in Crypto Buffalo one more time, man. Hopefully he can bring himself up on the screen in some form or fashion. But appreciate your work behind the scenes, man. We made you work today.
Hey, man, it's awesome. I'm actually not wearing a lot of clothes right now as it's so fucking hot in my apartment. I had to take my green screen down. So you're just hearing like the voice of a naked buffalo. No, I'm just wearing shorts, but it's definitely not. I'm not camera ready. But hell of a show, you guys. I look forward to the next one. And yeah, man, the rest of this week is going to be amazing. Q, you want to break it down what we got tomorrow?
Yeah, we have the Layer 1 podcast with Star Atlas. Easy and Crypto is going to come through with Easy Street on Thursday, and then it's Ladz Day, baby. It's Ladz Day now on Friday, with Ladz Series of Poker on Saturday, and Fun Uncle on Sunday. I love rattling it off now because we have so many different shows.
That's amazing. That is amazing. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you didn't, make sure you're hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, let your friends know about it. Last shout out I'm going to do right before we say goodbye is Crypto Stash and Ken Bozak. They do their NFT beat. It's Tuesdays at 4 p.m. I'd love if you guys dropped over there and dropped some hashtag OVOTs in their chat. We're going to drop the link in here. I'll be hanging out there for a moment before we go to something in Ladz City. And outside of that, our vibe, our tribe.
Buff, let's roll out with, oh no. You know what it is. It's Ladz Day. It's the best NFT show in the world. I've got my main man, Crypto Buffalo, bringing you everything you see here in Ladz City.
I'm ready for some drops. I got my mitt going. Let's play some ball, brother.
Look, he brought his mitt.
It's nice. This is my Little League mitt, too.
Everybody who's been helping Ladz lately, this has become a community.
What we're building is awesome, and what we're all doing together is definitely amazing.